with my kids, and I was just beside myself with pain.
And so the heart of stress reduction really comes down to reorienting yourself to know who it is that you are and be present for your life as it's actually unfolding. That's the door into health. That's the secret of mind-body health and mind-body well-being, is to integrate your life through being present for it. It's like the present moment is often a hidden dimension in our life. Of course we're present, we're here and all of that, but if you start checking your mind, a lot of the time we're not. And we are alienated from the body, so as I think it was James Joyce who in Dubliners said at a certain point, Mr. Duffy lived a short distance from his body. And I think a lot of us live for decades a short distance from our bodies.
That started me thinking about increasingly the amount of ways that I've moved away from myself and gotten almost wired to the outside, you know, with the cell phone or the faxes and increasing demands in my job and family.
I like to make a distinction between healing, because most people come wanting a cure. But it's very impractical. You haven't had the cure through cardiology, you haven't had the cure through surgery, you haven't had the cure through oncology, but you expect it to come in stress reduction? Forget about it. You know, a cure is not what, most of medicine cannot supply cures for most of the things that people have. But healing is something that's virtually always possible, even if you're a day away from dying or a half hour away from dying. I define healing as coming to terms with the actuality of your situation. So it's related to a kind of relaxing into what is happening. You don't have to like it, it's just that way. Thoreau came to Walden in part to try to find a truer and a simpler way to live by cultivating awareness of the inner landscape as well as the outer landscape. And he would, you know, watch the leaves turn color in the fall and fall on the ground, and listen to the pond freeze over, and then watch it thaw in the spring. He said, I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I hadn't lived. And I think that that is really a huge challenge for all of us. There are many ways in which the world is multidimensional, but we don't know it. So there are dimensions of our lives that are actually hidden to us because we aren't paying attention, we take them for granted, that kind of thing. So I discovered at one point, because someone showed it to me, that there are hidden dimensions of symmetry in a banana, something I was very unaware of. Some of you may know this, but maybe some of you don't. And the way you observe this, and I've known bananas my whole life, but never thought to do the following, to actually put pressure on the tip of the banana and watch. Now, if I then open it up like this, gently so the thing doesn't fall apart, which it is at risk for doing, it turns out that a banana has 3 equal parts to it that are folded together. Did you know that? It has 3-fold symmetry. We've been eating bananas all our life, but we just didn't realize that there was this dimensionality to it. But if you folded them back together, you'd actually have a banana. And very sticky hands, by the way. But the point is that there are many dimensions of our lives that are really folded up. They're not unfurled. One of them, a great deal of the time, as you know, is the present moment. To cultivate mindfulness, we begin to pay attention or direct our attention to things that usually we never pay any attention to at all, that we take totally for granted. One is like the fact that you have a body. Most of the time, we don't even think about that unless it breaks down. It's like body, you know, it's like, if it does break down, then it feels like a huge burden, and what am I going to do with this body? Or my body has betrayed me, I have cancer, my cells are growing out of control, my heart doesn't work anymore. I mean, there are all sorts of ways in which one can feel betrayed by the body. Our challenge to our patients is this. We say, look, from our point of view, as long as you're breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you, no matter what's wrong with you. And we're going to focus in the stress reduction clinic, we're going to focus in on what's right with you. And let the whole rest of the hospital and medical center and doctors and staff and everything take care of what the medical problems are. But we're going to pour energy into these unapparent dimensions that you may not even be aware of by cultivating mindfulness, and see if your life doesn't in some way respond to this, and your body and your health problems as well. So we start by paying attention, and I like to quip, well, to what's right under our noses. Well, the first thing that's right under our noses is the fact that we're breathing. Unless you're choking on a piece of food or something like that, the breath never seems to be that interesting. And if I asked you to pay attention to it for 5 or 10 minutes, after a few seconds, you'd probably go, oh my God, I mean, this is so boring. Couldn't I have something more interesting to look at or do or think about? Because the mind doesn't want to attend to anything for very long. On the other hand, if you were choking on a piece of food or drowning, all of your ideas about the future and your success at work and the well-being of this and that and everything else would instantly fall away, and the only thing you would be interested in was getting that next breath in, because your life depends on it. So there's something to be said for not taking the breath for granted while it's flowing easily. And actually, what meditators come to learn is that the breath is an incredible ally in the process of healing, in the process of growing, in the adventure of your life. You might close your eyes, but that's not even necessary. If you don't want to close your eyes, you just leave your eyes unfocused in front of you. And gradually let your attention alight on the breath as if it were a leaf gently fluttering down on the surface of a pond. And then allowing the attention to just ride on the waves of the breath in the same way that the leaf would ride on the waves of the pond. And you just feel the breath moving in your body. As I do it now, I can feel the air moving in and out past the nostrils. And I can also feel my belly, which is expanding a little on each in-breath and receding a little on each out-breath, almost as if there were a balloon in the belly. And it just expands a bit. And I'm not forcing this. In fact, I'm not doing it. It's just happening all by itself as the breath moves in and out. You want to bring your rear end up off the floor, and then, if possible, let your knees come down on the floor so that you're sitting in a posture that embodies dignity. But there's no reason to sit on the floor in particular, and very often, I will sit in the chair. The feet flat on the floor, and